Hello, and good evening. So, as usual, just to let us know whatever was fine as expected. So, let us know please in the chat so what we can hear us and what you can see the screen. So, right now you should see something like Introduction to the AWS.
Yep. Also, tell us, please, am I audible? Can you hear me well? Can you see me well as well? It would be nice to know.
I can actually, if it makes sense. So, okay, cool.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, let's wait for a couple of minutes for everyone to join. So, if someone still missed the notification or something like this, so yeah. Okay.
Yes,
Cool.
of course.
Yes.
And while we are waiting, Anton, how are you doing?
Pretty well, actually. But unfortunately, I don't feel such a New Year's feel. This atmosphere because it's plus 20 or something like this in Georgia. So I can say that there is kind of New Year feelings from my end. And what about you?
I am good. And, here in Uzbekistan, it is like -7. It's quite cold, and we have even snow, which is quite unusual for Tashkent.
Cool. And actually, as I saw, this course will end in the next year. So it sounds, let's say, a bit long. Still, yeah, it's only 5 weeks.
Yeah.
Soon we will be together.
And I think that for most of the people here, this course could be kind of a good present for themselves. You can make great present for you and achieve cloud practitioner certification, which is fundamental one, and which is primary target and achievement of that course.
Okay, so we are already 40 people. So let's get started. So let me maybe first introduce myself. So my name is Anton Kostikov. So I'm a systems engineer in the EPAM. So I'm working on the DevOps practices at the EPAM. And I will try to guide you through this course. So if you have any questions, if you have some concerns about this one, so always feel free to ask me directly in the Discord. But I think we will talk about it a bit later. So now I want to pass the microphone to the Dazik. So, and he will introduce you to the AWS itself. Dazik, please.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thanks a lot. Yeah, and let me start my presentation. Hopefully that you can see it well. Yeah. And today I'm here, and I'm very proud to launch a new run of AWS Fundamental Course at Rolling Scope School. And guys, I am one of the graduates of Rolling Scope School, and I really adore the main principle of it, which is teach it forward. And that's why I am here, because it's been like 4 years since I graduated, and I really like to be back here and make some streams, make some workshops, and so on. But who am I? As Anton said, my name is Dazik, and I am a AWS community builder. Regarding to my title, I work as a solutions architect, and I left EPAM recently, and now I am seeking new opportunity. And hopefully that I will be able to make some announcement very soon. And let's move on to the main agenda of our today's session. And first of all, I'd like to talk with you about what cloud is, because we live in 2024, and the most of us have heard about clouds, but I don't think that very much of us they really know what cloud is. Also, I'd like to give you some brief overview of AWS, which is one of the main cloud computing providers nowadays. And of course, I'd like to discuss how to learn cloud technologies, how to gain this very demanding skill. And let's start with the first one. What is a cloud? But before I will tell you guys what a cloud is, I'd like to tell you a very short story. So I have one friend, and his name is Alex. He's and he is also a graduate of Rolling Scope School, and he knows how to build front end, and he knows how to build backend using Node.js. And he had really nice startup idea, and he started coding his startup. He built it in several months, and after that, he wanted to expose his product to some people, but his product was existing only on his laptop. And obviously, he needed some servers to deploy his application, to deploy his backend and database, and then to serve his front end. And only after that, his application would be exposable and discoverable by another people, obviously. So what he did, he just bought a server and spent a bunch of time to set it up. And after that, he just put this server into the data center to co-location, and that was it. His application was working in production. And guys, his idea was so fantastic that his product became viral in a couple of weeks. And he realized that his demand in servers increased suddenly, and he needed to buy new servers, set them up, and to put them into the data centers again. And he bought another server and the third one, and it continued for a year. And after that, he asked me, "What do you think about not buying servers but renting them? Because it is quite costly to buy hardware, and it is very time consuming to set up, configure all the servers, and then operations with the multiple servers, they also took a lot of time." So he was forced to hire even some operation engineers. And we discussed a bit that should he go to the clouds or not. And we realized that clouds are a perfect fit for his use case. But what exactly is cloud computing? Let's imagine that we could have a service that could rent out some servers for you, and you could also vary amount of rented service very elastically, like flexible. You could rent one server for 4 CPUs and 8 gigabytes of RAM today, but tomorrow you can just decrease your demand and rent another micro server, I could say, and so on. And it also would be very nice if you could do that without major upfront payments, and if you could pay only for the resources that you have consumed. And actually, we can do that. We can use cloud providers such as AWS or Microsoft Azure or Google Cloud Platform, which are three main providers nowadays. And they could provide you such a service, like they can rent out a number of servers to you. But actually, they are doing not only that, they are providing hundreds of services. And let's try to discover what type of services they do provide to you. And now we are able to move to the second part, which I think is the most interesting part of today's presentation. So let's talk about AWS, since it is the main topic, the main point of our today's session and our course. So AWS is basically based on some fundamental services, core categories. And the first one is compute. So basically you are able to rent out some computational power. And the services which are representing this category are named EC2, Lightsail, Fargate, Lambda, and so on. They are representing some stuff like basic virtual machine, which could be rented by you. It is EC2 virtual machine with some fancy UI, which is Lightsail, and so on. And we have, for instance, serverless computing like Lambda. The next category is storage. And storage, you can just tell by its name that it is used to store your objects, your files. And you can leverage some services like S3, EBS, EFS, FSX, which is implementation of network file storages, and so on. We have multiple services to store your files, blocks, and so on. What else? We have third category, which is core one from my point of view, which is database. So using AWS, you can just host your database using EC2, for instance, and manage it by yourself. But it could be much more easier to leverage, for instance, RDS for that, which is fully managed database service. Or you can use Aurora, which is kind of AWS specific implementation of database, but it is fully compatible with SQL servers like MySQL or PostgreSQL. And also you can use DynamoDB, which is quite good. It is very fast, blazingly fast, and I really like it. And actually, that's not all the list. You can go to the AWS and check that they have a lot of services for databases. And the final one, the final core category is network. And you can use virtual private clouds, VPCs. It is some kind of abstraction or virtualization, and you can isolate your resources in VPCs. And also, I put here CloudFront. CloudFront is a CDN. It is not very related to the networks, but it is. But as I said before, AWS contains not only these four categories and this number of services, it contains way more. It contains kind of 200 plus services. And let's try to think, what kind of stuff can we rent out except compute, storage, database, and network? Actually, clouds nowadays are not about only renting some power. It is also about providing you some easy way to build your application. So actually, AWS is way bigger than that. And it offers you some stuff to build your front end or mobile applications. Very cool services like AWS Amplify, for instance. They also give you opportunity to organize your BI and analytics in easy way. It also gives you some developer tooling around the development process, and also you can build your own gaming services using AWS and so on. We have very big amount of services like in Internet of Things, and you can use them to build your own network of IoT devices without knowledge of specific stuff for IoT. The same for robotics, the same for satellites. They also provide you very big content delivery network named CloudFront, and also you can use, of course, blockchain and machine learning tools, which are quite hype in 2024. And you can use AI in AWS in very easy manner. So I can conclude all this stuff and say that AWS is very similar to Lego. And it provides you some building blocks, and you can just leverage them and easily develop your applications, deploy them, and then operate them. And of course, if your applications are getting popular, you can scale them in very easy manner. And let's talk a bit about advantages of AWS. And as I said, the first one is scalability and elasticity. That means that if you are demanding more power, more compute, more storage, more network, you will be able to scale, or if you need less, you can just scale in. And you can do it in 2 clicks without turning your applications, your servers off. And that's very, very, very good advantage, I believe. And also you will pay only for the resources that you are consuming. And that also is very crucial difference between cloud computing providers and some conservative providers which are just renting VPS. In my point of view, is security, which is one of the most important stuff. And it's worth really good in security. They have a bunch of tools and they will provide them to you, and using them you will be able to assess your infrastructure and your application code in security perspective, I mean. And you will be able to assess, and you will be responsible for the security of your infrastructure, which is deployed by you and your application. But all the stuff which is underlying of that, all this stuff is secure by design, and this security is job of AWS. And actually, they are doing this job actually good, amazingly good. And let's go to the next one. So if you're using not your servers, but their service, that means that you don't need to own and manage your service anymore. You can just cut off any costs on operation engineers like network engineers and so on. All that you need is to know how to leverage proper service in proper way, and that's it. Yes, sometimes you will need help of cloud solutions architects if your application is really complex, or you will need some DevOps engineer which will build all the tooling around the developer operations for you. But anyway, all this overhead which is used for operations will be much, much less than if you're owning your own servers. And let's move on. And the next one is durability. AWS has very good infrastructure. It is amazing, and it is very, very impressive. And each node that you are relying on is duplicated at least once, or it could be duplicated twice or 4 times, and so on. So if you are using AWS, you can achieve very high SLAs. And the last but not least, high availability. So let's imagine that in some region, like in Central Asia, I live in Uzbekistan, we are facing some critical and very, very bad disaster, like earthquake, for instance, which is destroying all the data centers here. And your application, just imagine, was deployed here. And what could you do? Actually, as I said before, infrastructure of AWS is quite good. So in case of the up by any other region, so we'll be able to achieve
That's it. That's it.
very low
Sorry for the
time
interruption.
of recovery.
I think
It could
we
be
just
even
lost. I think we just lost the last 20 seconds or something like this. So starting.
Oh, sorry. Hopefully that, I was covering high availability. So I was talking that infrastructure of AWS is global. So in case of failure of any region, you could be backed up by any other region, and it is up to you. And using that feature, you will be able to reach very short period of recovery. And it is even it could be even zero, like if you will have active regions, region configuration. Yeah, and check this out. Here is the map of all the regions. And AWS currently is operating more than 125 data centers across the globe. And you are able to rent some powers, some computing powers, almost in any of these data centers, which is quite stunning for me. And let's move on. How to learn it? Actually, I think that the answer is obvious. You're in the right place at the right time. Here at AWS School, we have a good and comprehensive course for AWS, at least for foundational level. And except our program, we will also be using some skill builder courses, which will be free of charge. And I think that theory is not enough. In the most of the cases, you will need a lot of practice. So where can you gain some practice, some hands-on experience? You can start making some pet projects. I believe that the most of you are graduates of Node.js course at our school, so you are able to write some backend code. So try to implement some application, try to copy some application actually, try to write some front end and backend by yourselves, and then try to deploy it to AWS. And then the next step will be try to refactor and rebuild it using some cloud native principles. What else? Pet projects, as I said. The next way to gain AWS experience, hands-on experience, is attending on workshops. And here at AWS School, we host workshops. Most of them are hosted online here at YouTube, so we just stream them. On these workshops, we are providing you all the stuff like accounts, so you will not be charged for anything that you are doing in the cloud, so you will be able to experiment here. And except that, you will be able to gain some theoretical knowledge from subject matter experts. But all this stuff is happening online, and I strongly encourage you to try to find some AWS user groups nearby. And user groups are non-commercial communities which are organized and run by some cool, enthusiastic guys. And the most of user groups are organizing some workshops offline, and it's worth to go here and experience all this stuff offline as well. And let's move on. My next slide is about achievements of this course and the achievements which are waiting for you in your near future. So this course is named AWS Fundamentals. So on that course, you will be able to gain some understanding of basics of cloud computing. Unfortunately, this course is not very focused on the gaining some hands-on, since cloud practitioner certification, which is also the main target of this course, it is also not very focused on hands-on. But it is very good option if you are new to clouds. And hopefully the most of you will be able to achieve at least digital badge of cloud practitioner in 5 weeks. And then you will be able also to certify and get not only digital badge, but also a certification as well. What else? After that, you will be able to attend on the next course of the Rolling Scope School, which is AWS Developer. And this one is quite tough, and it is mostly focused on getting hands-on experience. It is focused on services which are critical for developers. It will give you some theory and very good practice. You will be able to build your own portfolio. And after that, you will be able to achieve AWS Developer Associate certification. And this one is very cool. I have it. And it was very, very interesting to go through this certification. But I have one more thing that I wanted to mention. It is one more foundational level certification, which is very demanding right now. It is AI practitioner. And AI practitioner is mostly focused and biased to the AI tools within the AWS cloud. And hopefully soon next year, we will be able to start and launch new course here at AWS School, which will be focused on getting this certification as well. So let's keep in touch and let's learn together. I think that it is almost it from my side, but I have two cures here. So first one is leading you to the user group's website, where you can try to just type in the search and find the closest user group which is open, and try to attend on their meetups. It is always fun. And the second cure is leading to my LinkedIn. I am not very I'm not online very often in the Discord, but if you will have any questions, I will be more than happy to answer. And I do it in LinkedIn actually. So yeah, try to connect, and if you will have any questions on curriculum of that course or any other questions on AWS, yeah, I believe that I am the right person to ask. And I think that was it from my side. I just like to appreciate that Rolling Scope School is having me here. Thanks a lot, and thanks a lot, Anton.
Cool. Thank you so much. It was such an inspiring presentation. So maybe just to clarify, so we've been talking about the certificates from the AWS, but yeah, just the clarification. So you would not get these certificates by completing this course or
Yeah.
any course from the AWS school, but you will be able to try and pass these exams and get the certificates at the AWS, because all of the courses from the Rolling Scope School try to give you all of the necessary knowledges to get to these certificates and to pass these exams. So
Yeah. Our courses
really
are quite comprehensive, and yeah, after completion of our courses, you will be able to answer almost all the questions that you will be asked on the certification. But the certification itself, it is not free. Unfortunately, it is quite costly. Yeah, but it's I think that it's worth it, because being certified, you will be able to find new job in very easy way, because certificates are in high demand. That's the signal that you're good in this skill set.
Okay, cool. So now let me. Okay, Desik, would you like to stay with us, or you have some?
Yeah, I think that I will drop off. Thank you, and have a nice
Okay,
evening. Bye bye.
yeah. Thank you so much for the presentation. See ya.
Thanks a lot. Bye bye.
Cool. Okay, so let's now briefly talk about what is what's waiting us in this course. So this course is only 5 weeks long, and first of all, this course almost doesn't contain any hands-on experience. So we'll just learn the theory about the clouds, about the AWS especially, and about some best practices about building new application and deploying it in the clouds. So you'll be prompted to learn the theory a lot in this course. It would be split on the 5 weeks, as I said, and every week you will have some kind of tests or exams. And as you can see on the screen, so actually this is what you can see on your page whenever you're logging into the App Era School. So this is just the test account, and I can see the same as you will see on this course. On the first week, we already have 3 tests, and we will have more during this course is passing. So let's have a look. Let's have a brief look at the schedule. So as you can see, the self-study means that you need just to learn. You need just to read the documentation that we will provide you, and all of this documentation will be sufficient enough to answer all of the questions in the tests. So next, we will, except the self-study, except the test, we will also have the lectures. On these lectures, I think this event is also kind of lecture, but we will also try to provide you with some additional webinars about the AWS services, and about some maybe kind of best practices about building your application inside the clouds. Besides this one, I will also talk with my teammates about make some workshops from the AWS. And as Dazik already mentioned, so workshops is kind of place where you can just try something in the AWS. It may be actually even costly something, but you will be provided with the account in the AWS, which will help you to avoid any charges from your end. And you will be also guided by some professionals like Dazik, or maybe Ivan will join us on the upcoming webinars, and they will show you just how to pass this workshop. And this will help you to understand how AWS works on the best practices, and it will also give you some hands-on experience. If you would have any questions, if you would have any concerns, or if you would just like to share something or get some help or assistance, I really encourage you to register in the Discord channel, which link something like RS School AWS Club or something like this. This is a place where you can ask all of the questions that bothers you. So about the deadlines, about the results of the tests, about the upcoming events, anything else. I'm not sure if I can provide the link to this one right now. Let me try to find it. Okay, yeah, here we go. So I will just copy it from here and paste it in the chat. So in this Discord channel, you can seek for help, for any help you want. And I'm not sure if it's done yet, but later today or maybe tomorrow, I'll create a special role for this Discord channel. And I'll encourage you to register, assume this role, just to get all of the notifications regarding this particular course, because we already have the AWS DevOps course ongoing in this channel, and it sometimes may disrupt you from the right path. So someone may ask something about the other courses, but you will always know who is asking about which one. I think that's it from my end. So if you have any questions, I think it's a good opportunity to ask them. I'll try to answer all of them. Let me have a look at the chat. Okay, the first one. Is this course good for functional consultant? Actually, I'm not sure what functional consultant does and doing on their duties. I don't know, actually. Fortunately, I think I can't answer this question. But during this course, you will get the fundamental knowledges about not only AWS, but about clouds itself, and about some, I would say, necessary networking, security pillars of the application deployments in the clouds. So let's say, yeah, like this. How can define social communities? I think that's already answered on this one by providing the QR code to the user group. Oh, there's one question, sorry. What do you think, which course is much better, the one from Cantrell or Stepan Marek? I don't know about Cantrell, but Stefan Marek, I'd say I really enjoy this one, because every time I need to go somewhere, I'm just taking my headphones and just listening to this guy, because I'm really enjoying his efforts to bring the information right for you. So if you're learning the Stefan Marek course to get the AWS certificate, I think it's quite a good start, because it provides you lots of theory. But besides this theory, I would really encourage and recommend you to get some hands-on experience. And as Dasika already said, creating some kind of pet project, right, for you, especially for you, will be a good start. Because not sure if I mentioned it, but AWS provides you with the free tier account for 1 year since you registered it. So that means that lots of resources in the AWS you can try just without any charges for 1 year. But be careful about this one, because some of the resources may be free for the limited time, let's say. So just for example, it may be the virtual machine. So you can create a virtual machine for 720 hours per month for free. So that means that one virtual machine for free in 1 month will be provided for you without any charges. So you'll just need to register in the AWS cloud, and that's it. But if you create 2 virtual machines, they can operate without any charges from your end, only for 360 hours. So that means, but they still on these borders of the 720 hours. So just pay attention to this one, and you will just have this experience. But as Kazik already mentioned, we will also have the AWS Developer Course, which provide the some tasks which would require you to create some AWS resources, and they will be also in the free in the scope of a free tier, and you will not be charged for anything if you are careful enough, let's say. How often will they have the online lectures? Probably miss that info somewhere. I'm not sure about this course, because this course is especially about the theory, mostly about the theory. In this course, you will the aim of this course is to make you understand what cloud is. So how it works, from which part it consists, and how can we just create something in the clouds. So you will need just to read about it, read about the networks, and I'd say it's maybe one of the toughest part about the cloud computing is networking, because there's so many aspects, so many points where you can go to the wrong path. So, but to understand how it works is quite crucial to understand how the application working inside the clouds. So, okay, and answering your questions, we'll try to provide any more questions, and some feedback in the Discord channel will be really helpful for us, because we will understand what is the weak point of this course and what can we do better, and how can we help you to understand clouds and especially AWS better. And the next question: how are you staying up to date with the news from the AWS? I know about their blogs, but maybe you could suggest. Unfortunately, not. I just subscribe for some, let's say, internal channels or local channels here in Georgia, and this is quite enough for me. Maybe there should be actually some bloggers in the YouTube which provide maybe on a monthly basis some news from the AWS. I don't know, actually. Okay, so at this point, if we don't have any questions, as you can see on the screen, first 3 tests is, I'm sorry, fault. Okay, should be fixed. So first test is already enabled for you. So you already can start reading the theory, which we provided with all of the links inside in our GitHub repository. Let me send it here once again. So it's AWS Fundamentals Course, and here we are. Yeah, this is a place where you can find all of the links for the material which is necessary to understand all of the topics and to successfully pass all of the tests. I think that's it from my end. Yeah, so if you have any more questions, please feel free to ask, or otherwise, if you will have any questions further on, so always feel free to ask them in the Discord channel. I think it's the best place to answer the questions. Okay, one more question. Can I get an offer on using the knowledge of this course? I'm not sure, actually. It may be the position of some intern, maybe, but not more. Because by this course, you will only understand the theory on, okay, so in other words, I mean, so if we're speaking about the virtual machines, we are imagined some kind of, in our, let's say, local laptop, but located somewhere in the clouds. But to understand how it works, this course is the right place, because you will understand where this local machine is stored and why can I get access from this virtual machine to my PC or to my, let's say, some kind of storage in the AWS. So this course is rather about the theory. I think the next course, which we will have, the AWS developer, will be quite enough to get the offer, because it already contains the hands-on practice. And during this course, we will build the application and deploy it in the AWS using the serverless approach. So we will not just, okay, it's such a kind of spoiler, but okay, here we are. We still have some time. So speaking about the serverless is the approach in the clouds where you don't need the virtual machines. You don't need to maintain them. You can just use, let's say, kind of compute power. So you just upload in your script in the AWS, and AWS running it on demand. So if someone is visiting your web page, this script will be triggered, and this script will be responsible to provide all of the information to write to your end user. Okay, let's move on to another question. Second part of the course can be passed without first. I'd say yes. But if you don't have any clue about how, once again, how clouds works, this course will drastically help you, because learning theory is quite important. Because let's say some of the tasks can be done without research. But actually, you can create your application and you can deploy your application in the cloud without any knowledge about the clouds, about networking, and about how it works out under the hood. But if you'll face any issue, or any kind of bottlenecks or something like this, and you will not understand how to fix them because you don't know how it works under the hood. But yeah, once again, answering the questions is second part of the course can be passed without the first one. So there is no like requirements to join the second one. This is just a good idea to understand how it works in theory, and then we will go to the practice. Hopefully, actually in the mid of January or at the end of January, something like this. Okay. So I'll remind you once again. So if you have any questions, Discord is the best place to ask them. Anything which bothers you about the course. If you have any concerns, please feel free to ask them. There is, I think, I'm not sure. Discord is not open in my laptop right now. I'm just not sure if there is the special place to ask the questions, but there should be something like AWS DevOps, self-introduction. Okay, so yeah, today, later on, or maybe tomorrow, I'll create the um, special groups for this particular course. So there will be separate the AWS Fundamentals. Okay, okay. Take notes. Okay. Here's the first course to get to learn AWS if you have no clue about it. Yep, I think this is a good place because if you will see at the at desk, okay, at the lectures in the of the first week, we're rather about not AWS, but the clouds itself, about networking, about the compute powers, how we hosted and located in the data centers, and how can they get access to all of them, and how redundancy and high availability provided by all of these providers. But in our case, it's just AWS. Is AWS any benefits for automation testers, or benefits may help transition to over career path? I don't know how to answer. Because actually AWS has it does extend actually not only compute power to provide to you, but also some, let's say, managed resources. I think most of you may heard about the Grafana. Grafana is the monitoring tool which we are using to monitor all of our solutions. And by the Grafana actually is the open source product, but it have some paid subscription, let's say. But AWS have the managed Grafana. But it just means that you can just click on one button and Grafana will be deployed on your environment. And this is just enough. I think in case of, if you are talking about the automation testing, there is also some CI/CD tools in the AWS. So, and it works actually the same. So you're just providing the link to your repository and making some pipelines. And in these pipelines, you can run some tests, I guess. But I don't know how it works. Sorry, but yeah, I just think they still have some. Sorry, let's see. Yeah, here we go. Okay, so I'll try one more time. If you don't have any more questions, if you will have any, always feel free to ask them in the Discord channel. The link, I guess, I provided to you. Just let me just do it once again, so to make sure no one lost it. Because even since we have the schedule, we still sometimes we still face some issues with announcing and posting these events on this particular channel, so in the AWS school. But all of these events, for sure, will be posted, all the information and all of the notifications and announcements about the upcoming events will be posted in this Discord channel. So I would highly recommend you to subscribe to this one. It will really, really help you to find a help or to stay in touch with us and be knowledge about all of the upcoming events. Okay, so at this point, thank you for your attendance, and I hope to see you on the upcoming lectures. I wish you good luck, and if you have any questions, I think right now you know where you should go and where to answer them. Have a good rest of the day, and see ya. Bye.